Welcome. Thanks for joining me for your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 23rd of March for the Sun or the Ascendant. Can I ask you a big favour, please? If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be honoured if you did so now, but also very grateful. Because I was poorly for 5 years, I have got behind a little bit. So the more signals that YouTube gets in terms of my subscribers, the more my videos will be shared. So if you can help me with this, I'd be really, really pleased. This week begins in such a dramatic fashion. At 9:28 on Monday in London, we have a new moon in Aries. The Aries new moon is so exciting because it's about initiation, it's about fresh approaches, and because of the fire energy of Aries, it gives the moon much more ferocity to make things happen. So this is really impressive, but also it does embrace the new moon, Chiron, the wounded healer, the comet, which is really quite symbolic if we think what the world is dealing with at this time. Because the energy of the new moon can invigorate the energy of Chiron to try to help us to find ways that we can fight back against the COVID-19 virus. Now that may mean that we all have to adapt and change our personal approaches, but there are going to be some collective things we may need to do as well. And this new moon's broad alliance with Saturn in Aquarius is brilliant because Aquarius energy is about the group. So Saturn, having moved here, is concentrating our minds on how we need to support and collaborate with one another. However, there is a more testing angle to this new moon, which comes in the guise of the North Node. That notional point, which is very much to do with the emotional direction of travel that we're currently in the sign of Cancer through to the 4th of May. And it's possible that if we do set our intent on this new moon to achieve something positive, it's important that we're not out of sync with our own instincts and emotional needs. So starting something new, we just need to be mindful of our environment and how it feels. Talking of how it feels, if you are meeting someone for a first date, the first half of this week could really be quite seminal because Neptune and Venus forge a quite beautiful link. Or you could find yourself having a lovely moment of unity with someone, a friend, a family member. It can be very, very beautiful. But then in the second half of this week, Venus forges an absolutely wonderful angle to Mars, Jupiter and Pluto. And this can transform all our approaches to relating in quite an interesting way. Because of course, Venus is in the sign of Taurus, which can be about more material instincts. It can be about more sensual matters. So it's all very earthy, this. So if we are attracted to a new approach or a new person, it may be that they're going to bring something into our world which is more substantive. That sounds really good. However, a more challenging influence this week is the square between Saturn, newly arrived in Aquarius, and Uranus in the sign of Taurus. Because both of these are the co-rulers of Aquarius, they're very much about innovation, but in different ways. Saturn gives us the courage to change the structures which are more traditional, bit by bit, whereas Uranus is much more the rebel. So because they're both in fixed signs, there may be things that we do need to change and adapt that we could find ourselves resisting, and that can create some tensions. Just be mindful of that. But as this week draws to a close, Mercury in the sign of Pisces finally emerges from shadow. So where the retrograde first began on the 16th of February, if we go back before then, and where Mercury first went into shadow in the sign of Pisces on the 3rd of February, I think that you're going to find that things do speed up in all sorts of ways, and that's going to be very pleasing for us all. Your specific forecast, Scorpio, suggests that the new moon gives you a great platform to try to make some improvements and changes to the everyday routines of your situation. If you are someone who feels that you have all these working very well, then ask yourself about your exercise regime, your nutrition? Are there just small nudges that you can make to make things better? With Chiron in the picture, this is a great week for healing for you. But also, there is the potential for something to develop around your relationship situation. Yet there could be a tension around you and a family member, particularly if someone tends to sort of be a bit restrictive on your sense of expression. But you know, if you meet somebody new, the chances are that you can come across in a really fresh, warm, and actually very alluring way. So if you are having a date this week, it could turn out to be really quite memorable. It's been a real pleasure being with you. Thank you so much for having watched your weekly video. As I said before, I'd be so grateful for those subs, likes or comments. And also, if you'd like to subscribe to my monthly astrology magazine and regular mail outs, please click the link below. You can also get your free daily horoscope in so doing, or you can order your 12-month personal horoscope based on your time, date and place of birth. And you get your character analysis with this in a deal where you get 30% off. Or you can choose to have a one-to-one with me personally. Thank you so much.